Welcome back to another episode of Wrestling with Exotics. On this episode, we're going to be breaking down NXT Great American Bash. One hell of a fucking pay-per-view that NXT put on, man. And I love to see NXT get better and better with these pay-per-views, you know. And I feel like every week the show is becoming more and more watchable and more entertaining. And I don't know if it's necessarily because of the wrestlers or just how they're displaying them differently, like, or maybe a combination, of the sorts. But I'm starting to rock with the NXT product more and more every day, and this pay-per-view was outstanding. How do you feel about the way NXT has been progressing these past few months?
I do want to agree with you. It is a combination of the two things.
Right. And it's the entertainment and the wrestlers, man. They doing good. They displaying them right.
I'm a fan of Tony DeDon.
Yeah.
Out there. That nigga's cool as fuck.
That's my dog, bro. I told you.
And seeing NXT has characters that are able to touch the heart. Yeah. And because of that, they may not be the most skilled, but they make you want to invest in them to see them get more skilled.
Bro, for a perfect example, Chase U. Like, the leader of the whole shit, Chase himself. Bro, like, you would think that he's just like an average Joe, but then, like, after he's created this little faction and shit, he's actually like a legit wrestler now. And then, like, the great part about NXT is not only can everybody wrestle, but everybody's able to tell their story properly and keep you invested with what's going on.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, man, I love what they're doing.
I think that is definitely something that you should continue to highlight and switch to the main roster because they juggle stories, and I feel like they should condense the storyline to maybe like 3 storylines per show. I know that's kind of like boxing everybody in, but why not join everybody in so that way everyone feels like a main eventer, and then that can give the exposure to the locker room, but at the same time it can show who's inexperienced and not why they don't deserve to be in a main event.
Right. The first match I want to bring up in this pay-per-view was Gable Steveson versus Baron Corbin. I was really expecting this match to be more brutal and more
physical. Yeah,
more entertaining, all of that, you know, but it ended kind of lackluster because both of them ended up getting counted out. So, and if I'm being 100, Gable is so dry of a wrestler. Like, he's got like the basic moves, but he wasn't doing anything that was really captivating. And that even led to the crowd cheering for Baron Corbin at one point. They're like, yeah, all right, he's not showing us nothing. Just beat him up already, Baron Corbin. Let's get this over with. You know what I mean? And then that's when Gable started turning up a little bit, but still the match ended like it did, which was, like I said, lackluster. It was just like, yo, like, this match was supposed to be Kurt Angle's revenge match, and Gable Steveson was supposed to be doing that for him. I mean, he put Corbin in the ankle lock. I was waiting for the Angle slam. Like, I'm thinking, like, okay, you about to show him why you was an Olympian. Now, this is actually good for Baron Corbin because if he would have lost this match, I would have seen this as a burial for him. Because what better way to bury Baron Corbin than to send him back to NXT and then have him lose to someone like this? You know, someone like of Kurt Angle's stature. You know what I mean? It could get him back and get him out the business. So that's what I was expecting from this match. What did you think about this match?
I was just interested to see how the dynamic between Gable and Corbin was going to play out. I like Corbin's new entering music, and I feel as though he's finally figured out that new attire. He's not in those shorts. I just think this Corbin should have been the guy that was with JBL. And this is who I see him as he could the potential to be. And like he said, I'm glad that he did not take the necessary loss because he would have been buried. Yeah. That's why I feel like they didn't do that, because they see that, wow, Baron can still get a reaction. He's like an old school heel. He draws the crowd in a certain type of way. And he does have a core fan base that actually wants to see him succeed, because Baron has a pretty big internet wrestling community fan base.
Well, I'm sure, and they're everyone that's seen him outside of WWE.
Yeah, and in live within the show, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like going forward, I don't know what should happen. I feel like they should leave each other alone.
I really hope they do leave each other alone, because I know if Gable Steveson gets a rematch, he's going over. Baron has to go down. This, you can look at this as a Baron Corbin win because he didn't get buried and he didn't actually lose this match. Yeah, and he held his own. So this is actually a win for Baron Corbin if you're being for real. But next time they have a legitimized match, oh yeah, Gable's going over. Easy.
I think definitely that Corbin after his next match, he should go back to the main roster, and I think he should go back to SmackDown, because it just makes more sense, because SmackDown is where he had his original success and his lowest of lows, because that's the lone wolf that won the Money in the Bank, and that's Happy Corbin Land on SmackDown. And I feel like he goes back with this.
You gotta, bro. I feel like he gotta stay where the grass is green, and SmackDown is not green over there. You got to deal with Austin Theory and everybody else that's challenging for his belt. Like, you're easily gonna get washed away. Like, you're gonna easily be buried like how you were the last time you were up there, just because of all the other upcoming talent that they got on SmackDown right now. You got Ricochet, LA Knight, Logan Paul, Butch, all these dudes that are far better than Corbin and have been whooping Corbin's ass over the past year. You feel me? So, like, even including Pat McAfee. And Pat McAfee ain't even trying to go out for them belts. But I'm saying, like, his best bet is NXT. Because there's talent on there that you can definitively say that you're better than. You can definitely challenge for that North American Championship. I think Baron Corbin's better than Dom. If I was Baron Corbin, I would go and try to kick Dom's motherfucking skull off his body and take his belt and make him look like a real bitch. Like, I would be on that if I was Baron Corbin.
Gonna fire that nigga. Say, nigga, you don't sell no merch.
But I'm saying, like, you want to be taken seriously, like, stay on NXT, bro, and build your credit. And then you've never also been an NXT world champion, so you could do that as well. There's, like, still things for him to accomplish.
Oh, yeah.
That's on NXT that's very likable for him to accomplish on there than it is for him on SmackDown or Raw. Like, it's just too stacked. It's too stacked. That's why he's there now. Because everybody done whipped on him.
Whipped on him tough.
Speaking of Dominic Mysterio, Dominic retains the North American Championship in the triple threat match between him, Mustafa Ali, and Wes Lee. And obviously, with the help of Rhea Ripley. Surprisingly, Rhea Ripley puts Wes Lee through a table. He eventually gets back in the ring. Mustafa Ali does a 450 splash, and as soon as he's about to get the win, he gets pulled out the ring by Rhea Ripley, and Dominic hits him with a nice frog splash, whatever, picture perfect frog splash, whatever. It's a frog splash. I can do it. I'm not gonna give him too much credit on
it. It was good,
that.
though. It was good. That's the best one to date. For title retention, I'm gonna give you that one. That's the
only thing I will give you. But at the end of the day, Dom is still not wrestling. And it's clear as day that you cannot hold your own in the ring without Rhea.
Ali
there.
Carried them the whole match.
Literally. They was like, okay, we're going to do most of the big moves and the wrestling. And then you just come in
sneaky.
Yeah, you just sneak around. And then, hide behind Rhea like you normally do. It was clear as day what they was doing. And it's so funny, like, that our fans really hate when I keep it real about Dominic. But it's like, yeah, if you're a Dominic Mysterio fan and you think he's actually good at wrestling, you're just a dick rider. Because, no, you're lying to yourself. No man that's actually good at wrestling wrestles like that. Like, Eddie Guerrero used to cheat and shit back in the day, but not only did he make it look cool, but he was actually winning championships by himself. He did everything by himself. China only helped out every once in a while. Most of the time, she'd just be standing in the corner just looking buff and shit. Or scaring the other manager away. So that way it's an even fade. Like, that's how it always went. So I'm like, Dom, like, nah, man. You trying to slip and slide, but it's not there. It's not there. Like, that's why, yeah, I'm happy you are on NXT. Hopefully they teach you how to wrestle.
He gotta take some lessons from Wesley. Wesley doing improved, got new gear. I'm fucking with the pants. He leveling up for sure.
He had the shorts with the tights and then like the Daniel Bryan type of shoes. So like it looked like pants, but like it was a combination.
Yeah. Okay. He was doing something different.
Right. But yeah, man, my biggest thing is like at some point, Dom, you're gonna have to wrestle. Like, you're gonna have to wrestle, bro. And you're gonna have to give that title up to a real nigga one of these days. And it's either gonna be Dragunov, is going to be Wesley or most likely Mustafa Ali. And trust me, they're going to beat the shit out of him. One of the three will beat the shit out of Dom. For that belt, bruh. Especially like that's belt. That's a workhorse belt. Right. And I feel like everybody also looks at that belt as the most easiest to obtain. You know what I mean? Compared to anything else. Only because of the brand and who might be holding it. Usually it's somebody that's 6 foot or shorter. Like, you know, so you could bully them or you feel like you can. Like, you feel like you just have a better opportunity with them. And then, like, you be thinking you have a good opportunity with Austin Theory, but he cheat too much for you to really think that you about to get the ups and actually like him. Yeah, and exactly. So you're not going over on him. So the lighter fade is at NXT, which is why Dom has the title right now, because he did not win that title just pure wrestling style trust. No, he used the entire Judgment Day to gain that.
I would like, even if it was to see Dom take moves from them, but he don't have no.
Yeah, like, come on, like, bro, your mentor is Finn Balor. You can't do a drop kick that look hella swaggy, like the basement drop kick or something. Like, make it look cool. Like, do something, nigga. You can't do a fucking, I don't know what Damian Priest do that Dom could actually do. He do that one thing where he jump out the ring, but it's clear as day that Dom's knees like kiss too crazy still for him to like feel safe enough to do something like that.
His flying ability is
not there. It's not. That's why he only does the frog splash. That's why I don't give him no real credit, because nigga, a frog splash. If me and you are joining the WWE tomorrow, bro, that's like the first thing they teach you is like the frog splash, bro. It's not hard at all. It's literally. You do this, crunch your body up, and then expand, and then land flush right here, stomach, boom. The nigga do it like this, put the arms like this, so you don't really crush him, and you good. I'm not giving him that much credit, bro.
I know, I can't.
I want to see that nigga do like a swanton or something. Do like that's the most basic flip ever. A swanton.
Kevin Owens does it.
Bro, come on, fat as hell, gut sticking out, everything. If KO doing it, you could do something like that, bro, or something like, come on. And then he still buffers when he tries to do the 619. I'm like, bro, just don't do that. Just wait until you. I don't know that the 619 is not for niggas above 6 foot. Above 6 foot, and you trying to do 619 is just not it, bro. You gotta chill out. It's not for you. But anybody that's small like Zelina, when she do it, it look normal. I'm like, I don't hesitate. Dom, when I see him do it, I look.
Why is he doing that?
Why did he try to do that? I get that you want to make fun of your dad and shit, but nigga, this ain't the Three Amigos. Okay, you can't duplicate the 619 like that.
You don't have enough swag for it.
Bro, you gotta have swag, you gotta have tempo, you gotta have the right
swing his body.
You gotta have all of that, bro. You gotta have all of that. And Dom has none of that. So yeah, that's my whole thing. Ain't no hate. I'm keeping it real. What you want me to get on the show and lie to you? Sit here and be like, yeah, Dom's the greatest North American champion ever. You see the way he won that match? Barely broke a sweat. Crazy. Imagine if I'm sitting here with that type of mindset, that type of mental. Y'all niggas would think I need help. Like, come on. Like, that sounds nuts.
Oh, man. Dominic.
Shit.
How's Rhea treating you? That's what you know.
Let us know paid right now.
Let us know in the comments. How's Dom getting treated by Rhea?
She pegging him. No, but up to this point, I was enjoying this pay-per-view, bro. Like, every match just had me captivated, bro. Even Roxanne's match, like, I loved her match. Her mom and little sister was ringside. Like, I was rocking with this pay-per-view. It was very solid.
Hit Pop Rocks on the steel chairs.
Right. I expected this match to be physical, but I didn't think it was going to get like this. I mean, like, they had the tables in that match. Roxanne did the sunset flip onto the chairs to finish her off. Yeah. Like, I'm like, damn, they trying to snap on this mother. Bro, Roxanne is like literally like 4'9". Like, she's short as hell. So the fact that she just be maneuvering the way she do is incredible. But another match that I was highly anticipating was Tiffany Stratton versus Thea Hail. Thea Hail has been tapping Tiffany Stratton out these past couple weeks, trying to make it seem like Tiffy can't really get down with her like that in the ring, and she's not prepared and all that. Ooh. No, that was not the case. And as I predicted, Tiffany showed her what was up and put that little bitch in that modified Boston Crab, put that pressure on her spine, and then had her coach throw in the towel. And I kind of look at this the same way I look at Earl Spence's match. She was still in the match. She didn't tap out at all, and she being Thea Hail. Thea Hail did not tap out. Chase U threw in the towel for her, and I felt like that was disrespectful to her because she still had a chance to win that match. Same thing as Earl. They stopped the match, but he was still on his feet. He still felt like he had an opportunity to win. He didn't feel like he was going down, but the nigga was. That's why he's still on his feet. But everybody else like, no, the match is over, homeboy. You know what I mean? But Thea's position was different. I felt like she still had a chance to get to the ropes, or, well, there was no rope break in this match, but she still, I felt like, could have broke this hold because it didn't even look like Tiffany was applying that real pressure on her. So I was like, yeah, that was foul. Don't throw in the towel on me. I'd be pissed.
Yeah, because you feel like someone's giving up on you. But,
exactly, or don't believe in me though, or like you don't think I could beat this bitch or this nigga? Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, like So I definitely agree with you on that. But at the same time, Tiffany Stratton is a real good talent. The PME.
Yeah, she's the second coming of Charlotte Flair, bro.
Yeah, I think she's a pretty cool wrestler. She has her character, has a lot of room to grow from this and just in general, even if she loses the title. Because I think she's pretty young still, and she can. I feel like she has at least one more year in NXT, and then she'll go to the main roster. And I can see her flourishing well on the main roster because that teenage persona that you're saying, that makes for good backstage interviews and funny things to say because she's gonna be like.
They'll bring a different youthfulness to the main roster.
It'd be something funny. Like I feel like we don't often have like female characters who are serious in character but win. You know what I mean? Because to really think about it, who's really somebody with like a gimmick, like an actual gimmick in a women's division that wins?
With an actual gimmick, that's hard. That's hard to say. There's no one that really sticks to their gimmick. They all eventually just start being themselves. Like they come in with a gimmick, but then they're eventually just to the core of themselves. Like Becky Lynch, for example, she came in with that heavy Irish accent, like type of gimmick.
Like she's the Aviators of.
Yeah, now she's completely different, and she's like pretty much herself.
Big type Bex.
Right. She's doing more characters like herself, I should say.
That's what I feel like, man. And it's like,
fuck.
I don't know how to feel about it. Like, to some extent, just because when they get like that, it's like, you don't see them have that driving passion to get this shit over. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because they feel like, oh, it's just me. So it's take it or leave it type of deal. That's
Exactly.
why I have a fuck with LA Knight, because he's always in character and always always making sure you know who LA Knight is. He's not worried about the person behind the screens. He's worried about who's on the screen in front of you. And I feel like that's something I'm glad that you said that is missing in a lot of these characters.
Facts. Last but not least, we're going to be talking about Melo's match with Dragunov. This match was insanely impressive. I just didn't like the way it ended. Obviously, Carmelo Hayes won. That I don't have a problem with. How he won, I do. He just did a Hogan leg drop off the top rope. Now, I understand that's his finisher and he can't miss and shit like that, but it's like, yo, you got to do that as like a signature move to build up to something else because it's 2023 and you just leg drop somebody from the top rope. Like, Cena used to do that shit.
As soon as I thought about Cena.
Yeah, and that was like his signature move. And hey, speaking of Cena, did you see when Baron Corbin did the FU? The Gable, yeah. I was like, oh shit. But yeah, man, I really want Carmelo Hayes to switch up that finisher because he did like 3 different moves that were way better than that. He did an amazing cutter off the top rope that was unexpected. He did a crazy ass DDT off the ring ropes, and then he also caught Dragunov with a code breaker. when he was jumping from across the ring and shit. So I'm like, yo, like, you got this whole arsenal of crazier shit that you doing off these ropes, and then you gonna win the match with this Hogan leg drop? I just thought that shit was whack. What'd you think about the match, my guy?
Overall, I thought this match was very hard hitting, and it was very anticlimactic because he finished it with the leg drop.
Yeah,
I don't know how else to really say it other than anticlimactic, because Carmelo is a great wrestler, so he's never had a bad match, so he's not missing in that aspect, and he does deserve to retain because I want him to have like a solidified reign. You know what I mean? So where it's not like any question of his greatness. So when he gets to the main roster, he's not dwindling, but at the same time, Dragunov, he's too like much of a fierce competitor to really like go out by that.
Bro,
shit.
he the real deal.
And he beat Braun Breaker.
Bro, not only did he beat Braun Breaker, but he beat the shit out of Braun Breaker, I gotta add.
I know that Carmelo beat Braun with his leg drop too, but low-key, it's just because it was Melo's time. But he shouldn't beat Braun with that shit.
He should not be getting over with that leg drop. I'm going to be 100. I love Melo. That's my dog. You can't miss all that cool shit. But like I said, it's 2023. The Hogan leg drop got to be a signature, bro. It cannot be a finisher. Like, come on now.
Crazy, man.
That's the only thing that ruined the match. Other than that, it was a great match, and it went exactly how I expected it to go.
Literally.
Yeah.
Nigga hit a torpedo on Trick. I was like, wow, this nigga doing flying headbutts.
Yeah, Dragunov really screwed himself over because he was too focused on Trick. He was just hyping up Melo, like, come on, bro, get your shit together. Remember what we doing. And then out of nowhere, Dragunov just headbutts him. I'm like, bro, you just set yourself up for failure. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah, your focus is off the ball, and you're not going to be winning nothing tonight.
Right, you don't deserve to be NXT champ
really
right now.
It's crazy because I'm like, Dragunov, I hope that you get a reign, but you just need to go chill. I think, but I don't think. But it's kind of crazy because I feel like no one's gonna fuck with Dom.
Bro, he's about to hold that shit for another like 3 months. Yeah, 3 months. I give him 3 more months, literally. He's got to hold that shit probably till the end of the year. 3 more months, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Basically, like I was. You see my North American Championship ring.
Right. That's gonna be his new deal.
He's gonna be talking about how he was the greatest North American champion.
Yeah, I could see him going into next year with that belt, actually.
And watch him. Hopefully, he progresses with it.
Appreciate everybody out there watching with us. Again, it's your boy, the Franchise Kid, Franchise Jerry, and I got my dog with me.
Think I need to feed you water. You know what it is, man.
And you guys have been watching Wrestling with Exotics. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, man.
Share this shit with the world, y'all.
And turn on your post notifications so you know every time we drop a track. And make sure you guys go check out our shop at pcfshop.myshopify.com. We got something for everybody on there, man. Guaranteed. Peace.